when you look at it, the window might appear as though it's not perfectly level, but it is perfectly level. That's just an illusion because of the chink, and the logs are not perfectly level and dimensional. They run butt end to skinny end, back and forth, so it kind of looks like an illusion a little bit, but they are perfectly level, even though it may not exactly appear that way. And I'll show you a close-up of what I did today. So today I installed this little 1 by 3/4 inch trim on the inside. See that? Just to give it a little second, third layer of dimension appearance. Looks pretty neat, I think. So that's cypress that were stick stack boards when I bought my lumber, just remnant stick stack boards, and I ripped them on my table saw and give you a close-up of what they look like. And it made the white part of the window look not so big, which I like. I just kind of like a little bit of a less white in the window. And like I said, it gave it kind of a dimension. And you can see I only ran it to the bottom because the bottom was thinner than the top in the white stuff. And I think those little gaps on the bottom are little drain holes. If you ever were to get rain in the window, you don't want to block that and hold water. So you see how I kind of ran the trim to the bottom, but not a bottom trim piece to capture water. But I think it looks really neat. All right, and then the second window, here's the side window, bigger window. And this is a double hung window where you can clean it easier. It just happened to be one that was on sale that was the same brand and everything. The other one's only a single hung, smaller window, but this one's bigger. And it has kind of this little bit of crown molding trim to it. So I decided not to do the 1 by trim on this side since it already had some trim detail to it. Looks like it's just carved into the, literally carved into the logs. Gave it that skipped planed appearance where I ran my hand plane over the rough cut just enough to kind of hit the highs and lows and still leave some little rough parts, smooth. Some are smooth parts, some are rough parts. It kind of gives it a good texture, I think, to go with the rough look of the logs. So here's the inside of the window I installed. So you can see I still got a decorative trim that I need to install on the inside, similar to how I did it on the outside. But I spent a better part of the afternoon putting insulation in around all the cracks where the end grain meets the jamb to get a good insulation value, so you don't have drafty window jams and that sort of thing. So it's a matter of taking wads of insulation and setting it in there, and then taking a butter knife or a sharp knife and jamming it in there until all the way in until it doesn't go anymore. I had to do that on the outside before I installed the trim on the outside, and I did it on the inside, so you have it on both in and out, so you have a nice thick layer of insulation. And here's the light switch for the doorway, same thing along the logs. When the end grain meets the door jamb, same thing. Up here I'll be doing a big good stuff foam, expandable foam in that bigger spot. Did a little bit on this one, but then you can see all the insulation on the window. So I got my window today, and I'm going to start installing it tomorrow, the second window. Looking out, there's the view. So if you're sitting in the tub, you'll have the view out the window, out the side window. This is the casing trim, not the exterior perimeter trim, but the inside jamb pine, yellow pine trim. And I got it all roughed in. It's not nailed in or anything yet, and I made sure that it was square in the corners and level in like 3 different directions, and shimmed, did a test fit shimming and everything, and it turned out pretty good. That's what it looks like. And then there'll be a 4x4 trim that's inlaid, kind of like how I did the exterior windows. Exactly like how I did the exterior windows. Interior trim that's around the window, one of the windows. And you can see how like I did the exterior windows, I did big rabbet grooves all the way around the log so that you can inset the trim so it's set into the log. And I got this blue tape up so because of all the sawing, I wanted to protect my chink so it didn't get stained from sawdust. But it's dry fit right now. It's not polyurethane. I'm going to hand rub it with polyurethane, all the pieces, and then assemble it finished. But that's, let me give you a close-up of how it's set into the log. Look at that. And so the interior trim, the jamb, I guess you would call it, of the window, see how it's proud? But it's not, it's proud here, but not here. I'm going to cut a 1/4 inch thickness of the side pieces so that this trim in here is also proud. That's the only thing left I got to do is just trim that. And you can see on the bottom as well how it is proud right here. See, it gives a nice kind of finished edge to it. So it turned out pretty neat. A dry fit anyways. And I got a little finagling to do to get it set how I want. That's a yellow pine. All right, so here's the one window, the trim that's finished. It's not permanently installed yet, it's just dry fit. But I've got it totally finished, and even ran my hand plane and a card scraper over it to give it a smooth finish. It's ready to install, ready to put a tung oil finish on it and then install it. But here's what I was talking about before. You can see trying to back up here. You can notice the casing on the inside is proud of the outer trim. So you can see here's the casing, sill, whatever you want to call it, and it's proud. See, it's sticking up all the way around. It is proud of the trim, and it gives kind of a nice shadow box kind of look to it. I had to trim the 1/4 inch off of this the other day to achieve that. But there it is. This is a little loose there. I'm just going to push it in. Okay. Completed. Turned out really nice, and here's the second one. Second one's totally done. Got the tung oil finish already on it, and you can see the dowel plugs for the screw fasteners to hide the screw fasteners. So looks really finished. I still have some blue tape on the chinking just to protect it against dust, so the chink doesn't get dusty dirty. But turned out really nice. It's got that same shadow box kind of detail with the proud sill and proud casing that goes all the way around. Really turned out nice.